welcome to another video. Today we are going to make 3 desserts that are perfect for the upcoming Christmas, including Speculoous Tiramisu, Christmas cake, and Gingerbread Energy Balls. They are all vegan and quite easy to make in my opinion, so without further ado, let's get started. The first one is Gingerbread Energy Balls. If you are looking for a quick healthy snack in the afternoon on Christmas, this is the perfect one. We will need a food processor though, so add the PD dates to a food processor and place until they are finely chopped. Then let's add some rolled oats, walnuts, and a few spices, including the most important one, ground ginger. And here I also add the zest from 1 orange. This is optional but highly recommended. Put the lid on and let's get it blended again. The mixture should look like wet breadcrumb, and when you press it, it should stick together. And let's prepare a tray lined with baking paper and use a tablespoon to scoop out the mixture. Use your fingers and your palms to shape it into a bowl, and then just place it on the baking tray. Repeat this to finish all the mixture. Here, let's take a closer look. So basically, I press it against the tablespoon first and just roll it between my palms. Shape it into like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just like, cute little balls. And voila! You can enjoy them directly, or if you prefer a firmer texture, I'd recommend put it in the refrigerator for a while. It's sweet, nutty, and full of the gingerbread spices. They'll last quite long in the freezer as well if you want to prep for Christmas. The next one is vegan Christmas cake. It's a cake based on spices, and I use spelt flour together with some zest and orange juice to make it kind of flavorful and Christmassy. On top is like a cashew vanilla cream to make it taste super delicious. So let's get started. First, preheat the oven to 175 degrees Celsius. In a big bowl, add some coconut sugar, baking powder, spelt flour or plain flour, and some spices including ground cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice, and a pinch of salt. Mix all together. In another bowl or a jug, add applesauce. You can use a store-bought one or a homemade one. I will link the recipe down below. And melt a vegan spread or vegan butter. Soya milk, unsweetened, or you can use sweetened one if you want it sweeter. A hint of vanilla extract, 1 fresh lemon and 1 orange. We are going to use the zest from both, but just a part of the orange juice. So first, zest both, and then cut the orange into quarter. Squeeze a quarter of the orange. And measure 1 tablespoon to put into the mixture. Then whisk all together. And then let's chop some hazelnuts. You can use other nuts as well, but I highly recommend using hazelnuts here. Pour the wet mixture to the dry one and whisk to combine. The cake batter should look like this. It's quite thick but still slightly roundy. And then let's add some sultanas, chopped hazelnuts, and use a silicone spatula to mix all together evenly. The batter should feel slightly airy. And then let's prepare the cake tin very quickly. Just grease a 6-inch cake tin with some oil and line the bottom with some parchment paper. And here is my favorite part. Pour the cake batter into the prepared tin. The reason of this being my favorite part is because I just found it super therapeutic to watch. Which is over now, so let's drop the cake tin slightly against the counter and then bake it in the preheated oven at 175 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. And then let's make the cashew cream on top. Soak the cashew for 3 to 6 hours ahead of time and then add them to a blender together with some soya milk, maple syrup, a bit apple cider vinegar, and a pinch of salt. Put the lid on and let's get it blended for a few seconds. Stop and scrape down the sides. Here I add some vanilla extract and a little bit more soy milk. The recipe I wrote linked down below has already included all the soy milk you need. Just blend it again until smooth. And it's done. I know it's a bit runny, no worries, just put it in the fridge while we wait for the cake. Once the cake has finished baking, take it out and let it cool down completely before removing it from the tin. Remember to remove the parchment paper on the bottom. I remember I felt so happy to see this cake because it smelled amazing and it's already very beautiful. But we are going to make it more beautiful by spreading the cashew cream on top. The cashew cream should be thicker, easy to spread on the cake. You can spread as much as you want, you can frost the whole cake as well. I just frost the top and serve the rest with the cake. Here I sprinkle some ground cinnamon on top. This is optional, but just to make it a little bit prettier and more cinnamony. Let's cut into the cake. I hope you can see how firm it is, but still it's quite fluffy and soft and moist. And the fragrance is just so amazing. I tried very hard not to eat it while I'm cutting it. And let's dive in. This cake is super moist, perfectly sweetened, and packed with flavors from different spices, together with the cashew cream, just yum yum yum. And the last one is Speculoous Tiramisu. I know it sounds like a cliche, but we gotta have speculoos on Christmas, right? This time I used store-bought one because it's just easier. You can use homemade one as well if you have time. So let's make the coffee syrup first. Add instant coffee granule to warm water with some soft brown sugar. Give a stir until the sugar is dissolved. Set it aside to cool down while we make the cream. So for the cream, we are going to use soaked cashew again. So soak them for 4 to 6 hours and then give them a rinse. Make sure to drain it well. Add them to a blender cup with soy milk, maple syrup, coconut oil, and almond butter, and a hint of vanilla extract. I'm using my homemade one with rum and a pinch of salt. Put the lid on and blend them all together. Here's the trick. Stop and give a few shakes. This way it will get blended more evenly. Blend until it's fully smooth. And then let's assemble together our tiramisu. I recommend using a glass baking dish like this. Just break the cookie and put it on the bottom of the baking dish. And use a baking brush to brush the cookies with the coffee syrup. Pour about half of the cream on top and then spread it out evenly. And then just repeat again. For the second layer, I recommend not breaking the cookies too much, so the layers will be more obvious. Alternatively, you can dip the cookies in the syrup first, but I just prefer this way. And then it's time to pour the rest of the cream on top. Spread it out evenly first, and then here, I personally like to create some kind of patterns on top. It just looks more interesting to me. Cover it with a lid or a plate, put it into the fridge to set up for about 1 to 2 hours. You can let it sit overnight as well if you have time. Take the tiramisu out from the fridge and then dust it with some cacao powder. This is one of my favorite steps as well because it's just so satisfying to see the whole cashew cream got covered up by cacao powder. And then time to dig in. You can see it's super creamy, velvety. The cashew cream is not too sweet. Together with the coffee syrup and the speculoos cookies, it's just so yum. I seriously couldn't stop for a while, so just let me be. So that's the 3 Christmas desserts I like to share this year. I hope you find any of that interesting or you'd like to try. If you have any thoughts or ideas, welcome to let me know by commenting down below. And thank you for watching until now. Wish you all a happy Christmas. See you next time. Bye.